Hey everyone, it's YJ, and this is my first year on T. So I thought I got a jump start on this week's topic a couple weeks ago. So I wanted to give a little addendum to that and then talk about something else. So a lot of people have anxiety about traveling with their testosterone because TSA might stop you, the scanner might stop. But a couple weeks ago I traveled across the country and I had a T-shot. I had my testosterone, a syringe, and a couple needles with me in my bag, and nothing was flagged, so I think you should be good about that. But I wanted to talk about what to do when someone dead names or misgenders you. I know for me, it gave me a lot of anxiety to say anything, and sometimes I didn't say anything because it's a tough thing to do, and nowadays I don't really get misgendered anymore, and I actually still use my birth name a lot of the time, if not a nickname, and so that's less of an issue for me, but definitely misgendering happens a lot. And so when it happens with friends, I would say that, well, there was a really good friend of mine. We had gotten close over the semester, mostly through studying together, but she kept misgendering me, and I wasn't really comfortable saying anything for the longest time, so I didn't. But then I realized that we were getting really close, and I really wanted her to respect that part of myself, and I didn't know if she knew or not because I had come out at large on Facebook, and so I wanted to have a more personal discussion with her, and so I actually took out my phone and went back to that post, and then was like, hey, can I tell you something? And then I sort of like showed her this post. I was like, I don't know if you saw this or not, but I let her read it, and then I was like, yeah, so if you have any questions or not. And then she apologized. I don't think that was necessary, but it just sort of like caught her up to speed. There are some more active situations where it's sort of like, hey, so I'm using he, him pronouns, and I would really appreciate it if you used them. I had to do that a lot in my workplace last year because I was out as trans for the first time, and there were people who just, I think, meant well, but they just would slip up a lot. And so really just having those gentle reminders, I think it's important to distinguish between ill will and just people trying their best but slipping up. Yeah, and so gentle reminders. I think it also varies depending on how you came out to people. Like I said earlier, I came out at large on Facebook. I created a post basically saying I'm coming, because I took a year off from school, and so I said, hey, for those of you who don't know, I've been away doing this program. I'm coming back this year. I also wanted to let y'all know that I'm trans. I use he, him as pronouns. Basically, please treat me the same. And then I pushed post. I logged out of Facebook. I turned off my phone for the day. And then I went to work. And online, I got a pretty positive response collectively. I got a lot of messages from folks of support. But in person, it was a different thing because I think people still associate me with the person they knew before. New people that met me, especially when I was pre-T, they didn't know how to address me, or they read me as female at first. And so it really took a lot of me asserting myself to do that. And so I think it's really important to know a couple things. The first thing is that giving people the benefit of the doubt. I've learned to trust people more than I previously did, because people will usually surprise you with how supportive or how indifferent they are. Really, if you give them the opportunity to become educated and to really change their behavior, a lot of people will rise to the occasion. The second thing is that being assertive doesn't necessarily mean you're being aggressive. And so there are a lot of different ways that you can politely remind someone or politely inform someone that you're using certain pronouns or using certain names. And so I think those are the two biggest things for me in sort of growing into my identity and being confident enough to correct people. That's it for this week's video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you next week.